Welcome to Beta Academy's Pandemic Podcast, the reopening edition. I am your host, Nakapan, and we also have our co-host, Louis Candelas. How you doing, Louis?
Look What's up, everybody?
That beard is amazing. As you know, we are all now emerging from our houses out to wander the streets, hopefully safely, as we go forward. But now, we've sent out some emails. Sorry about all the emails. We're trying to make sure we keep everybody in the know about what we're doing with the reopening. This is a very exciting time. I know a lot of you getting antsy, being in the house and really ready to work out. We've been doing a lot of the virtual programming over the last 3 months, and we hope to continue that. But now with this phase 1 reopening, we hope to have some outdoor training sessions and get some people together. So we're gonna give you some updates on that. Louis and the staff have been working very hard for the last 3 months, thinking about how we're going to get this reopening to happen. And so we're almost there. And that's kind of the point of today's podcast, is to kind of go over what we're going to do, what you can expect during the reopening, kind of time frame. Again, a lot of this it's a fluid situation, so we have to be very adaptive. We have a plan for it. And as you know, like, we have to be flexible, moving forward. So we're going to discuss that. And if everybody has any questions at all, you can enter them in the comment section. We're going to do our best to answer all your questions. We're going to try to get through this first, and then towards the end, try to answer questions. So stay tuned, okay? I think we have Coach Hyro's joining us real soon.
Yeah, he just jumped in, and I was like, "Yes, that's good. We'll take
it. Welcome to the reopening edition of the Pandemic Podcast."
Oh man, I set myself up.
You're here. We're already live.
Oh damn! All right.
Streaming on the interwebs. All right. So first thing. We are, share the screen right here. This is our schedule, our phase 1 outdoor training schedule. I'm going to go through all the kind of 5 or 6 phases that we have planned, but phase 1, very exciting. We're going to start as early as June 2nd. I'm sorry if you've been trying to get on the Mind Body and register for these classes. We have a few technical hiccups as well. As you can imagine, our CRM provider, MindBody, is extremely busy because it's kind of happening all over the world, and they're a huge company. So it's been difficult to get through to their support team, but we are confident that it will be handled very soon. So what's going on with that now, Coach Louis? Are we good to go for the MindBody?
I think so. So okay. I think so. The same way when we started the Zoom thing, right? Like the first few days were a little sketchy, but I think you can reserve classes online right now, and it should be what. There's going to be problems, right? So go ahead and try to do it online. If it doesn't work, you can always email us or call us, and we'll help you figure it out. So it's not like, if it doesn't work online, you guys are screwed. Like, no, we're still going to work with you. We'll all be there Monday. We're going to be answering phones. We're going to be talking to you guys. And you guys can't come into school, but we're checking emails. We're responding to phone calls. And we're going to try to call every single one of them to see what kind of questions or problems they're having. So Monday's going to be a real busy day for us.
Just to be clear, the facility itself is we have to remain closed. We are not able to open until phase 2 of DC's, so DC calls it stage 2, when gyms are going to open. For us, we're kind of in a weird situation in that we have after school summer camps, so we kind of fall under childcare. We have, a fitness facility in the school, the studio, so that kind of falls under gyms. But then we're also doing Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, which is like a contact sport. So it's very difficult to it's hard to categorize, but we're trying to navigate this as best we can. We want to make sure that we get back to training, but we do it safely. So this is our plan for the first phase, beginning Monday. We're going to run our own kind of like mock run through to make sure everything stays safe. We have a lot of different safety protocols that we put in place to make sure that we maintain social distancing. So the first day of class is going to be Tuesday, that we'll be able to have outdoors. Coach Jimmy and Coach Hyro, who's joining us today, they will be running those classes. And so right now, as we see it, we're planning for a 12 p.m. class and then a 6 p.m. outdoor class. We say in person and in Zoom. So if you're not able to make it to the class, you prefer to stay at home, you can still catch the class on Zoom. Again, we're going to try to run through on Monday. Please just be patient with us, as we may have some technical difficulties, but we're going to have to be trying to stream it on our phones from the park. Now, if you haven't gotten the emails, make sure you go to the website and you can enter your information in the contact information in the contact section. And we'll make sure that we try to get those emails to you, or you can just email info@betaacademy.com to make sure you get on the mailing list so that you're staying up to date with everything. But I imagine if you're in our Facebook member channel, that you're probably getting regular communications from us. All right. So again, email us info@betaacademy.com or give us a call to make sure you're on the emails, because we're going to be sending you probably emails every week to keep everybody updated on the situation. All right. 12 and 6 o'clock, we got classes. We unfortunately, to adhere to the guidelines of DC at this moment and to make sure that we stay safe, our classes have to remain 10 people or less. As you know, gatherings of 10 plus, of more than 10 people is prohibited at this time. So we're allowing 9 students to sign up for the class, and that includes the instructor to be the 10th person. Classes, we're going to meet in front of the school at the time before they start. So 12 o'clock, everybody will begin to gather in front of the school safely, of course, because we're going to have pieces of tape demarking 6 feet apart so that y'all can stand and observe social distancing until the instructor is ensure that everybody has arrived. And then you guys will walk over to Meridian Hill Park and find yourself a nice clear space where we can start training. Okay. We recommend you bring face masks and yoga mat to the training. That way, if you get you don't have to. If you don't have a yoga mat, don't worry about it, because you probably have to. You be getting a little bit dirty, getting some push-ups, doing some sit-ups in the grass or in the dirt. But that's okay, because it's going to feel great as we get to finally exercise and push ourselves once again. So you can go to our website and go to the schedule section, and under the schedule section, you can register for the class using our mind body system, which is integrated into our website. Now, we've been using mind body probably for the last 8 years, and we use it internally mostly. We don't really, and we use it as you are walking into the school. When we were open, so you could check in. And so while you may not be aware, you do have an account in MindBody, and a lot of people don't really go online and use their account to register. So we ask you now, if you haven't registered yourself on there, to go ahead and do that. It'll find your account, and then you'll be able to schedule classes. It's going to be under the email address that we're communicating to you with. That will be the one that we have, and so you can make yourself an online account where you can interface with our system and make sure that you're signed up for classes. Now, because we only have room for 10, we may have to turn you away if you're the 11th to 12th person you haven't registered. So it is very important that you register, because we can't have more than 10 people. And if you're not on the roster, then you will be asked to another time.
Yeah. So a couple of things, like when online, remember, any problems, you just call us at the school or you email us if you're having a problem with your online account, and we can always go in there and change your email. That's not a big deal. It's very simple. You just got to call us, talk to us. Now, this is when people are active students, they could reserve online. Now, if you cannot reserve online, that means you're probably not a student. So that means you'd have to talk to us over the phone if you want to get a membership. But a lot of things can happen through email and phone with us. So we are pretty good at getting back to people. So just make sure any problems throughout this whole process of, man, I don't know how to log in online. You can always go to betaacademy.com. You click on schedule and then see full schedule, and it'll take you to MindBody, and it says like staff login, student login. You click student login. I think it's pretty simple. We haven't used it, like Nak said, but it's pretty simple, and I think everyone could figure it out. So just wanted to throw in there.
And for the while the school facility itself is closed to the public, we do have people working from home and also from the office. So Faraha, Chris, and Chelsea are on standby all the time, beginning on Monday. So they will be able to answer phone calls and handle emails. So just please bear with us, because we are getting a large volume of people that are contacting us, which is also the reason why we wanted to make this podcast. Classes are filling up. So now that our system is working, we've been getting a lot of emails. People are very excited about coming back to train. And for those of you that are still, you have at-risk people at home, and you're not comfortable with coming back, of course, you can always continue your virtual membership that we're going to continue to have at 12 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. And we're adding some extra classes to the roster too right now. We may add some more classes moving forward, Saturdays, Sundays, and maybe some extra classes depending upon how popular the outdoor training is. So we're also adding a 5 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, kids class. So that'll be in person. Again, the same thing. They meet at the school, in front of the school. We stand 6 feet apart. We observe social distancing. And then when it comes time, 5 o'clock, and everybody arrives, the instructor will walk everybody to the park. Or perhaps we're looking at some other areas, maybe Cardoza, maybe the parking lot behind the school. So again, this is the reason why we have everybody meeting in front of the school as the meeting point. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe they'll close down Florida Avenue. We could just be training in the streets. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be amazing.
That would be great. But at this point, we're not there yet. And that's another thing we're working on, is trying to create a martial arts alliance where we have a little bit more power to speak to our political, representatives.
I wonder if we could contact someone in the city about closing Florida Avenue for the fitness gyms and the coffee shop. But I guess it's a lot of houses right there.
Well, they are slowing down the speed limit in DC, so that, because they are opening a lot of curbside delivery and outdoor restaurant dining. So we may see DC as to some, crazy, almost like outdoor eatery is what I'm understanding as well. So let's see, anything's possible. Another group of, now that we are trying to contact the representatives, there is the ANC, which is, I think it's something committee. And there's ANC committees that govern the wards. They're like the local councils of each ward. We're in Ward 1, so we've also emailed and sent letters to our Ward 1 ANC representatives to ask them to support us in our reopening, and perhaps we might be able to get them to open the streets and give us a little bit more area where we can run outdoor classes. So that remains to be seen, but at this moment we are mobilizing on that. And so stay tuned with that as well, because now it's going to be important that we connect to our leaders and our political representatives at this point, because they do represent us. Let's not forget that we do pay their salaries. So they represent us, and they're supposed to look out for our interests. And now it's the time that we begin to exercise our power, because, we're all being affected by this.
Damn right.
Real quick. So, you know how we fall under childcare facility, we fall under fitness studio, and we fall under sports. Orion said, since we have a vending machine, we should be considered a bodega. It's also Orion's birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Orion!
Hey, happy birthday, Orion!
Facebook told me that.
We should have put him on the podcast.
So all right, so I got one more thing. Somebody just asked if we're expected to wear the mask throughout the entire class or just arriving and leaving. So if you're outside, the mask is optional. So you could wear one or you could not wear one, and we won't get mad at you, right? We're not going to get mad at you for wearing a mask. We're not going to get mad at you for not wearing a mask. We don't care. So, but, we recommend it for outside. Now, when we go indoors, when we're indoors, phase 2, we're going to ask that you wear a mask for the jiu-jitsu class, right? But just like anything else, like the belt falls off, I'm sure the mask will fall off, but then, you put it back on and no big deal.
It's like training with an elevation mask. People were paying good money for those back in the day. So at this point, you could just keep the mask with you, wear it, it's to protect other people. So, we recommend it. And we do have options at the front desk. If you don't have a mask, we do have ones with the Beta Academy logo on them. So
yeah, we got 3 different masks. We got a nice red one, a nice yellow one, and then we have a black one from Toro. Carlos just joined us too. What's up, Coach Carlos?
Carlos.
And then hold on, I got one more question. They're saying glad the virtual short man Steve. What's up, bro? Glad the virtual training will continue. Gonna wait a little bit to observe how things go. Phase 2 begins. So yes, virtual training will continue. And hold on, one more question. Phase 2, when strikers go back to sparring inside,
we're gonna talk about all that upcoming.
Okay.
So hold that question. Now, just to kind of talk a little more about phase one, the classes in the park, there's going to be no contact, so it'll be focused a lot on technical development, on shadow boxing, on strength and conditioning. Okay, so we have to make sure that we do continue to observe social distancing and not make contact. But the instructors will be there, and they will have pads with them, and so we'll just figure that out when we try it out. Okay.
Yeah.
So
We just got to do it. It's like we got to get those reps in. So Monday we're gonna prepare. We're gonna do like our own little mock walkthroughs, and then Tuesday is when we go live. So we got Monday to figure out all the details. But everyone's pumped about it. The coaches are excited to teach. So as long as we're all excited, I think it's gonna be good.
it's going to be a good yes, it's going to be a great exercise, and it's going to be great for conditioning because it's going to be hot outside and you'll be wearing a mask. And so it's going to be great, man. You really got to push yourself through this. Instructor can be there to help hold you accountable. In addition to the training we have at 12 and 6, which we've been always having the virtual membership. Now the 12 o'clock changes because we've been having the breakdowns at 12 o'clock. So instead of that, it's just the training, and it's going to be on Zoom. So we're just going to make sure we Zoom all the in-person training so that people can join in from home if they're still waiting to see, how things shake out, and that's totally acceptable. Also, 5 o'clock is now. Coach Carlos has joined us. He's teaching Tuesday, Thursday kids class, as I said before, and I will be also running a kettlebell workout Monday and Wednesday, 5 o'clock. That's going to be Zoom only, so it's not in person. But if you don't have a kettlebell, that's okay. We're going to be doing body weight conditioning things, and if you have like some kind of dumbbell or some kind of weight, you can use that too. And now, as an aside, there have been some people that have borrowed kettlebells from the school, as well as Thai pads. We're asking everybody to bring that back by Tuesday because we need to get ready for the second phase, which we're about to discuss very shortly. Okay, so we need all the equipment back. I have some equipment. I know that some of the instructors have equipment. Let's bring it back, especially because we may be adding some conditioning classes to the roster, depending upon how well they're received. Okay, so we got a schedule now, 3 classes a day, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, outdoor Muay Thai, 5 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday would be kettlebell workout, Zoom only, and then 5 o'clock Tuesday, Thursday, kids, classes, in person and at Zoom. In the meantime, also, we are doing some one-on-one sessions with some of the coaches. So if you'd like to do that, as you can see on the schedule that we have here, you can email info@betaacademy.com. If you have a preference of a coach or what you want to or what you want to do for training, whether it be Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, MMA, you want to do some strength conditioning with Coach Danimal, please send us an email, and Faraha, Chris, and Chelsea will be fielding those and making sure that they get into the hands of the appropriate instructor so they can schedule something with you. Okay, so I know right now Coach Carlos is free on Saturdays. He does a lot of kids sessions. And Coach Hyro, what's your schedule like?
Right now it's pretty much open. So if you're interested, let me know.
It's going to be good. All right. So we're all looking forward to training. All looking forward to getting back and working together. But I will say, if you are looking for private lessons, our inbox is filling up right now. We do have a lot of requests rolling through, and we're trying to schedule them as best we can. So if it's something you're thinking about, please go ahead and send us an email, and we'll go ahead and try to make sure we get you on the schedule as soon as possible.
Yeah, and don't get mad at us if we don't reply right away. Like, come on, give us. Once we sent out that the email yesterday, we received so many messages after that. So just give us a little bit of time, but we're gonna get back to you for sure.
All of us see the general inbox, so we see everything coming through. Don't worry, your messages are coming through. We will get back to you. Please, thank you for your patience.
Yeah,
okay.
and sometimes we don't reply back because we're working it out. So we got to figure it out so that way when we reply, we have an answer for you. You know what I'm saying? So be patient with us.
All right, let's move on. Shall we look at some of a summary of our phase reopening?
Well, let's make sure people don't have any more questions about phase 1. So people should understand what phase 1 is, and then we're gonna kind of go through the rest. Yeah, the next, I got 2 questions about phase 2 but we'll talk about those once we get on phase 2.
All right, hold on. Let me just fix my view over here so that I can, no, that's not good. View.
What's up, Juan Ramos? Yeah, dog. Can't wait to get back training too, man.
It's going to be good. Okay, so now, what do we got?
Andrew and Gabriel, I'm gonna get to your questions. Just give me a second.
Everybody's got so many questions. This
It's
is
good. We need these questions.
yeah. This is why we decided to hold this. So, we knew people are going to have questions. All right. Let's see now. Technology. There we go. Screen share. Screen share. Whoops. Dang it. Screen share. Why is this happening?
Did you break it? You break your own computer?
I broke the internet, dude.
My internet yesterday was terrible. I don't know what the deal was, but Friday, my internet was crap all day.
People sending all those emails to you guys.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Huh? I thought it was maybe like, I don't know. I thought it was my kid's fault.
It's all right. So here's our phased reopening plan. This is the summary. Now we do have a very detailed, I think it's like a 7-page document that you can download that was in the email that'll tell you everything you need to know. But we're going to go over some of the finer detail. We're going to go summary with the phases here. So
yeah, before you even start, I want to make sure people know that these are all estimate dates, and phase 1 and 2, we kind of have an idea about. Phase 3, 4, 5, those are all up in the air. So I don't want people right around July 1st talking to us about this, but this could change. Everything's changing every day, and we're learning new stuff every day. So phase 3, 4, and 5, we don't know for sure, but this is what we think, at least as of right now. Sorry.
Oh, that's great. Yes, absolutely. This is a plan. This is a plan. Plans are always you got to be flexible, but at least we have a plan going in to the reopening. We've consulted with doctors. I want to thank Ashley Goldfinger for sending over some of other schools' reopening plans. We've Bellingham BJJ from Washington State. My good friend David Porter made his plan available to everybody. So we were able to collaborate with some different school owners and see what everybody's doing. We borrowed heavily from a few different schools and also added a lot of our own. As you know, Bruce Lee, take what is useful, discard what is useless, and make what is uniquely your own.
Nice.
Here we are practicing that. And here we go with the phased reopening. So phase 1, we're going to begin on 6/1, but classes don't start until the 2nd. So 6/1 for us, Monday, we're doing a dry run to make sure that everything works exactly the way we need it to work. We wanted to wait probably an extra week to do this to prepare, but we've been preparing for the last month, and we said, you know what, let's just go right into it. We're confident that everybody will be safe, so we want to get back to work as soon as possible. Outdoor Muay Thai classes, and we're going to have kids classes as well, and the in-person Zooms. The classes focus on shadow boxing, technique development, and strength conditioning. Like I said before, we have one-on-one coaching. We ask you to wear a mask, meet in front of the school, train in Meridian Hill Park. Sign up limited to 9 students online, and Zoom classes still available. Please, once again, I remind you, return the kettlebells and Thai pads if you borrowed them from the school by Tuesday. All right, phase 2. Now, we're going to stay in this phase for about 14 days, 2 weeks. Phase 2. Now, phase 2 also depends upon stage 2 for Washington, D.C. So this is a actual physical opening of the school where students will be able to come in. So we are having to wait until the mayor deems it safe enough to initiate phase 2. But what we're seeing with Maryland, Virginia, that is estimated between 14 to 21 days. Let's go best case scenario, estimate as June 15th. Okay, so at that point, we'll be holding solo Muay Thai, solo Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and kettlebell classes at the school. Now, if we follow the DC recommended guidelines, we're limited to 5 students for every 1,000 square feet. So the foundations mat, which we're going to change to a jiu-jitsu, they'll be called now the jiu-jitsu mat. We're going to have the combat room, or the master's mat, which is now going to be the Muay Thai mat. And then, of course, we have the fitness studio. Okay, so the Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu mats, they're about 3,000 square feet. So we're going to be permitted about 15 people in there per hour per class. We're looking to have classes 1 hour, and we're looking to take about half an hour to clean everything up. Half an hour, or let's see if we can. The first time we do the phase 2, I think half an hour is going to be safe. If we can shave that down, we're going to do that and add more classes. But for right now, it's about to be an hour and half an hour of cleaning to make sure. We're also going to be purchasing a lot of spray bottles and disinfecting wipes, disinfecting solutions. So students, we ask you to wipe down any gear that you use. Perhaps if we're able to use the bag, we don't know yet. Kettlebells, wipe them down and clean your mat area, and that'll help the instructors and our staff prepare the room for the next group of people that are going to come in. Okay, so 15 people per mat, with the exception of the fitness studio, because it's only 1,000 square feet, so we can only have 5 people in there. We're going to work on some, and the studio will probably be limited to coached animals one-on-ones, and then maybe some people that want to be using the fitness equipment, but we're still having to work a little bit out of some of the details, which is good because we're using this time to kind of prepare our procedures and protocols so that everybody stays safe. Okay, so 5 people in the fitness room, and we may allow, we don't know yet, drilling with a permanent confinement partner. So if you live with somebody, so I know that husband and wife teams like Andrew and Julia Michaels, right? They live together, they train together. We may allow them to drill together on the mat. Okay, at this time, there's gonna be no pad work and no sparring. So a lot of it is just gonna be solo drills. We may allow drilling with a confined partner. We don't know yet, okay? And that online Zoom is gonna be available. We're pretty much going to be Zooming 12 and 6 o'clock training every day until we are able to have a full reopening. Okay, so everybody, if you're not comfortable, also we look at the detailed reopening plan. This is the point where if you have people, the vulnerable population, people over 80 years old, immunocompromised people with liver and lung disease or something like this, heart conditions, we recommend that you don't come in physically, so you can still do it you can still join us online. Also, health workers, you probably are, we can't let you in the room because at this moment, when you walk in, you'll be asked to sign a COVID-19 waiver, but also to pass a screening test as well as a temperature check. Okay, and the screening test, of course, is going to ask you, have you been in contact with anybody who's had COVID or anybody you know? And so a lot of the healthcare workers, like Justin from Jersey, unfortunately, would not be able to train because he sees patients all the time. So that's what phase 2 looks like for us. Phase 3.
I have some questions about phase 2.
All right, ask questions.
All right. So phase 2, they want to know if they could start sparring, but I guess, so for Jiu-Jitsu, we could do drilling. For Muay Thai, if they live together, they could do pad work together?
I think we can allow,
it's tricky, man.
I think what we have to wait for is phase 3. I think at phase 3, we can begin to consider that. Okay, we can consider that at phase 3.
Phase will be just too tough.
Yeah. So phase 2 in the beginning, we're just getting people in the door. People are, they're just training. So at this point, we're gonna have to wait on that. Okay. So that's why we have no pad work and no sparring. Phase 2, hopefully that's only 14 days. Okay. We're estimating that's 14 days until we go into phase 3, which would be DC's stage 3. And at this point, we're going to follow the recommended guidelines for contact sports.
I still have more questions about phase 2. Sorry.
Yep.
I want to kind of knock these out before we move on to 3, because 3 is different now. So for phase 2, besides wearing masks, do you have any idea what the BJJ classes will look like? And is there some sort of live contact like drilling or sparring? So like we said, if you have a confinement partner, then you guys can drill together. But you count as 2 people in this class of 14 students plus 1 instructor. Right?
Yes.
Right.
We're going to be really focusing on solo classes in phase 2. Okay. That means we might be able to hit bags. Okay. Means we might be able to use some of the exercise equipment. Now jiu-jitsu, of course, like this is where you have to kind of broaden your thinking of what jiu-jitsu is. I mean, we're talking about self-defense, we're talking about a method of fighting. And so therefore those classes, like it's hard to roll around by yourself. So it'll be focused a lot on, sprawling, taking down, striking, mat awareness drills and skills. So there's a lot of things that you can do to continue to train and improve your physical conditioning, improve your balance, improve your coordination, improve your attributes, so that we're getting ready to get into phase 3.
Somebody asked, bathrooms and locker rooms. During phase 2, no locker rooms.
No. Again, we have a detailed plan, which we can go to. I think you can download and read them, but these are good questions. And phase 2, we're going to have to close our bathrooms for the time being. So what we're going to ask is that everybody who is wants to come to class, that you register online, you wait outside, because we can't really have anybody walking around in the school. Unfortunately, we love to congregate in the corridors and have chit chat and everything. But at this point, we can't. That's not possible yet. But it's going to change. So everybody waits outside. Basically, the whole group's going to be waiting outside. Once we've cleaned up and ready to go, and we're ready to start the next session, we open the doors. We have everybody come in. You take your temperature. We ask you the questions, and you go and take off your shoes, wear your sandals, go to the mat, sanitize your hands, sanitize your feet, take your spray bottle, your sanitation stuff, go to your square, and then we turn on the Zoom, start the class.
Yeah. So then it says, do we have a date set for when sparring will resume? We don't know. We have estimates, but we don't know.
Yes, I know everybody wants to get back to sparring. Like, this is a huge part of it. Before you spar, you got to work on your technique. So let's focus on our technique. But I want to get back to it, and and that's when we get into phase 3. And again, everything after phase 2 is kind of a plan. It's kind of just there so that we understand what we're trying to aspire to and work towards. Things may change, but at the same time, it's good for us to be able to see what's up ahead in the horizon.
And then does solo class mean private lesson or just work on your own space?
Solo class is work in your own space. If you want to do one-on-one privates, email the school, info@betaacademy.com, and we'll set that up. That's going to be at a separate time in a different place, and it can't be in the same room. So if you would like to do that, that's kind of in addition to your membership. So go ahead and send us an email, and we'll get you scheduled the best we can.
All right. I think I caught up. There's another question about drilling and what they should do, but we talked about that during phase 1. We're gonna have classes every day, or at least Monday through Friday. So just show up to class.
Yeah. Phase 3. So we look to be in each of the phases for about 2 weeks. They said that's the incubation time for the virus. We'll be able to see some changes in, infection rates or drop in infection rates. We'll be able to see the trends after about 14 days. So we estimate 14 days in phase 2. Phase 3, we're in. Let's assume that everything goes to plan, and we're best case scenario. So we look July 1st, we start. Okay. So now we're going to be more focused on having paired training. Okay. If we fall under the contact sports, is that you can have permanent training partners. So we'll be looking to make training pods of 4 people, and these are going to be your people. So now if you commit to coming to class and you commit to your pod, we would ask you to make sure you show up to class, because if you don't come to class, then obviously that's a one space that isn't filled. So you're committed to training. I actually think that this is good for us, because a lot of times when no one holds us accountable, we can be like, I don't feel like I'm going to go eat have a burger and a beer and sit on the couch today. So you can't do that. You got to be committed to your training partners, because they want you to show up to class. And so therefore we will break you up into training groups of 4. And because you are working together, we also ask that, we hold each other's partners in lives in our hands every day, right? Whether we're punching them in the face or we're choking them out, that's what we always talk about, having respect. And so make sure you're respectful, and that you're not out there going to a very crowded party or a rave or something like this. I don't know if anybody goes raves anymore. I don't know. So I'm just around speakeasy with a bunch of weirdness happening. I don't know what you're doing, but you can't do that, because if you do that, you're putting your people at risk. So if you're about the training, let's focus on the training. Let's be true to your 4-person pod, and make sure you keep them safe as well. Okay. So this is the time where there could be possibly drilling that we would consider pad work and sparring. Okay, so this is, we don't know yet. We would like it in the detailed plan. We say if you can say you took your negative test, that we would allow you to spar and do some pad work. Okay, we don't know what the capacity for testing is going to be like in 2 months. Whether you can, 5-minute tests are going to be available during that time. Maybe you say that you make a pact with your 4-person team that you're willing to take that risk. Again, this is not a risk-free activity for you to take part in, but you're going to assume the risk just like you were assuming the risk when you came in to train in the first place. Okay, so we're gonna make that an option. Perhaps we just have to see what things look like with testing and how comfortable people feel about doing it. And so therefore, if you don't want to spar and you don't want to do pad work, there is nothing forcing you to do that. So you can still be able to train the 4-person pod. If you want to do solo drills, we're going to work that out as well. And we have a lot of different equipment and things that you can work with at the school and continue your training if you are not comfortable with that. But so again, everything's kind of wait and see how the trends work out.
Yeah. So a couple things about phase 3 is like there's like some major things that we're looking at is how easy is testing going to become, right? Like that's a big deal, is how easily can we test every day? And then the accuracy of the test needs to be a little better. From what I hear, it's not very accurate. So that needs to get better, right? But these are things that could happen in the next few days or whatever. Another thing, they need to learn more about this virus. If the antibodies thing is real, if the antibodies test is accurate. When we talked to a couple of doctors, they said that's not very accurate either. So the tests and the antibodies test, like those need to get better, and like quicker. Because if it's a thing where, you could do something and then 5 minutes later they could tell you if you are positive, negative, antibodies, no antibodies, whatever they could tell you, hopefully it could get done faster. But that's why I say phase 3 and beyond is subject to change, because what if they come out with the cure tomorrow? Then we're like, oh snap, but every day things are changing. Just be patient and just know that we're just planning ahead. But things could change depending on what happens with science and the medicine and how people are getting cured. And
or the government could issue you some papers, your immunity papers. You can put that chip inside of you and know you're all the time, so that you don't have to worry about it. So there's a lot going on there. All right,
it's like Demolition Man, huh?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's like Demolition Man and Edgar Friendly and all that stuff. Like, is that what's gonna happen?
I tell you what, whatever's gonna happen, you are going to need the ability to defend yourself. And remember, so this is what we're doing now, is making sure that the power stays with the people. If you're like me, you probably gained some weight while you were in quarantine. That's okay. We're going to come back. We're going to lose the weight. We're going to get stronger. And that way, when things begin to, take shape and we see what's going on, if we don't like something going on in our community, then we're going to go up and we're going to say something about it. Okay. So, but you got to make sure that we keep our minds strong, keep our bodies strong. And that's what we're trying to do, is get everybody back to training so we can do that. All right, so now
it's like the samurai when they took their swords away. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. They took our swords away. We can't
take our swords away.
They did it.
We ain't cutting our long hair.
No. All right, so that's phase 3. Phase 4. We're moving into. So we say if we stay into phase 3 for 14 days, we move into phase 4. Best case scenario, July 15th. Worst case scenario, we don't know. Maybe it gets pushed out a couple more weeks, a couple months. We have to kind of wait and see what happens. Again, this is a plan, not something set in stone. But what we'd like to see is that students and instructors living with vulnerable population are allowed to come back and resume solo training. And again, this is because we're watching the trends, and we see that there's no more evidence of community spread, and that all the rates of infection are very low. So now we can begin to kind of open up the training a little bit more. And we're hoping that what we can do, again, we don't know what group we follow in, what category of business that we fall in. That's thanks to our bureaucrats and our makeshift committees that were put together where people have no idea how to do anything. So therefore, we're kind of at their mercy. But again, our strength is that we're diversified. We do many different martial arts, and we fall into many areas of business. We also have retail. If you didn't know that, by the way, if you want to order curbside retail, you
That's
can
right.
email info@betaacademy.com, and you can give us a phone call and we can set things up for you. Now we got a couple things that we got going on. We got some promotions happening. We got some red t-shirts that we just printed and they're at the school, nice and hot off the presses, as well as our new blue Jiu-Jitsu competition gi. So if you want to get a hold of that, give us a phone call, send us an email, and we will make that available to you. Okay, curbside delivery. All right, that was a word. Back to phase.
Hi, dog. I like the way you did that.
Back to phase 4. Hoping, again, if we fall into a certain category that allows us to do this, to open up contact sports, that we can double our mat capacity and just below 50 and keep it just below 50%. That means instead of 14 people, or we're saying 14 students because we're including the instructor, instead of 14 students, that we could perhaps have 28 students on the mat. That's just 50, that's below 50% capacity. You've seen what we have in classes. We can have up to 60 people, especially with, everybody wanting to get back. I'm sure a lot of people want to train, but we're going to have to cap the class size to 28 at this point so we can continue to help people observe social distancing. Now, mats, hopefully we can kind of increase it to 10-person pods. We don't know, but again, these would be the 10 people you're comfortable training with and are accountable to and for moving forward. Provided that everybody meets the phase 2 and phase 3 criteria that we ask you, phase 2, phase 3 criteria being low incidence of infection and no more community spread, and that you've passed all the screening questions, that you've not come into anybody with the virus for the past 14 days, that we would now be able to openly permit sparring and pad work, provided that these students are comfortable with doing that. And if not, again, this is not a requirement. It is just an option for you. And it seems to be a very popular option at this point, given how many questions we've been receiving on the Facebook. So again, our goal, of course, as always, is the safety and ongoing health of our community. So again, we always have to err on the side of caution and make sure that we do everything we can to keep everybody safe. Okay, so but even in phase 4, we are going to continue offering online Zoom classes so you can train from the comfort of your home, especially if you have vulnerable people that you want to keep safe. So that's always an option. All right, now phase 5, we get into phase 5. Any other questions about phase 4? Do you see any questions there, Lewis?
I do not see any questions. All I see is Wesley. What's up, Wesley? Shortman Steve, Juan, Adid, they're all watching, but no questions really.
Great. If you do have any questions at any time, please direct them to info@betaacademy.com. We'll do our best to send responses as soon as possible. Again, any questions, comments, concerns, we do appreciate them. We've tried to make sure we thought of every single angle and make sure everybody stays safe. So, but again, we haven't, nobody's perfect. So if you send us some emails, we will, it'll help us. All right. Phase 5. Now, phase 5 at this point, estimation unknown. Okay. So we don't know when this is going to be, but for us, that's a return to normal training. That's opening our school back up to medical workers. So everybody comes back now. And then people that have with vulnerable populations, now they can begin to spar and do pad work. Again, we don't know when that is. This would coincide with DC stage 4, which they also don't have any idea of when that's going to be or any details of what that means for the different businesses that are in the district. But what they are hoping to get is a vaccine and or a cure. So I don't know how everybody feels about that. This is also a political kind of leaning to, which pretty much means that they're going to immunize you whether you like it or not. Okay, so if you got something to say about that, remember that timing is everything. So you just got to wait for the right time. But in order to do that, we got to make sure we're in the right shape and the right mindset. So come back to training. Let's focus on improving ourselves and feeling stronger. And then we can fight any type of tyranny or oppression that may come before us.
Last time I was forced to take some shots and immunizations or whatever, it was in the Navy when they forced us to take the anthrax shot. Remember that? Good times.
I have a lot of friends in the military where they would just like pull you out of your barracks. Like, everybody get out over here. You show me your arm. Bam, bam, bam. But you don't even know what you're being injected with. But that's okay because you're the property of the United States of America.
There you go. Somebody asked about the response to an anticipated second wave. Like that's again in the unknown. If there's going to be a second wave, it's like some people think it's like for sure, and some people think not. But who knows?
Now, it depends on what the government also says. We are at the mercy of the mayor of D.C. So if she decides to instigate a lockdown, then we will have to comply with that. So, yes. Now, that also being said, we have an infection procedure and plan in the middle of being developed right now. And that is that if anybody does get tested and they have a positive test, that they call the school and contact us immediately because of the fact that we were able to use our mind-body tracking system, we do know who's in what class, that we can help with the contact tracing efforts. We can coordinate with the state, and that we can make sure that everybody who came in contact with the infected person gets notified so that you can quarantine yourselves and make sure that you take all appropriate action to make sure that, we contain the spread of the sickness.
Yeah. I want people to know that we're going to be responsible about this. We're not acting like a bunch of meatheads and we're just like, everybody fight and who cares who gets sick. Like, we have, you have a designated partner. We know exactly who's going to be in class. We could train, we could do this responsibly. We could keep doing what we're doing as long as we're responsible. We'll know who you're training with. Even when we get in these 4-person training pods, like now, who, and I keep telling people we could be responsible. We could do this. We can make this happen. We just kind of need everyone's support and everyone to be honest and take care of each other, especially your training partners. It's very important.
This is where we are walking the middle path. This is not a political statement on either side, being it liberal or conservative or even libertarian, which is often what I think that the government and the media is trying to do, is polarize us as a people so that we are divided and that we cannot unite. Because if we did unite, I think that the people that run this country or the world, may be very surprised as to what we can do. So, we love martial arts. It is our way of life. It has been all that we want to do. And so therefore we love it so much to make sure that we have taken all the precautions that we think could be taken to help our community. We want to make sure we keep everybody safe. And so therefore, this is where it comes out of. It comes out of love for what we do. And we want to get back to doing it. And we want to make sure that we do it safely. So that takes everybody's participation in this. Everybody has to buy in on it, and to make sure we keep each other safe. Oh, something happened.
I said, "Yep, that's right."
Sorry.
I've been muting myself, so I forgot to unmute myself. Let me see. I have.
Let me stop the screen share.
Do students know? And remember, we're gonna have everyone fill out a question. Are we gonna go over the questions that we're gonna ask people when they come back, or no?
Yeah, we can do that real quick. Let me see.
I think that'd be cool. So that way people know what eliminates them from being able to come to beta, and like I said, we've talked to people, so it's not like we're just making this stuff up. We've talked to doctors. We talked to a lot of smart people. Smart people really save us sometimes.
Yeah, I get in the head a lot, so I need a lot of smart people. We can have. So this is we put this together. It's a downloadable document that you can have off the Dropbox. It's on an email. If you need a copy of it and you haven't gotten it, you don't have access to it, send us an email. We'll make it available to you, so you can see everything that we're doing. So let's see, change just stream the classes. It gives you everything we talked about is pretty much on here, and especially the metrics that we're looking to follow so that we know when it's safe to move into the next phase of the opening plan. Here's the protocol.
Yeah, the protocol.
Protocol right here.
That's the best part.
Stage 2 protocol when we're open, that people can come inside the school and start training. So let me see. I'll read. To attend class, students will have to use the Mind Body online reservation system. I think we worked out all the bugs. You can do that now. Okay. We cannot let you in the class unless you do register. If you do reserve a spot, you have an obligation to use it. Okay. So it's not just hold all the spots. Remember, if you reserve a spot, don't come in. That's a spot that somebody else could have taken so they can come in and train. So please, at this moment, especially in phase 2, when the capacity of the school is drastically limited, that you consider everybody else and that you conduct yourself appropriately on mind body. Right?
Yeah. So the classes, right? You cannot just show up at the school because we're cool. You know, I'm cool with everybody, but you can't be like, hey, we're cool, just let me in. You know, I'm too cool to check in, and I'm too cool. Like, I've been training too long to kind of follow the rules. Don't be like that. So no walk-ins. The door is not going to be open. The beta front door is going to be locked. So you can't be just showing up. Reservation only, no walk-ins. So please remember that. Like, even though we're cool and we're Facebook friends and we're even Instagram friends, and, you know, we be talking when we train, we're not that cool. You still have to follow the rules. So all of my higher belts in jiu-jitsu that are too cool for school, you still got to reserve your spot online, and you can't just show up for the last 30 minutes.
If you get butthurt because you are not allowed to go to class, you put us in that position.
Yeah, man.
You made us say that to you. So again, you got to take responsibility for yourself. We can't sugarcoat anything anymore, right? We are going to follow this. You're responsible for yourself. Please, please follow the rules so that we can make sure that we run the school as smoothly as possible and keep everybody's safety in mind. All right. So number 2, where a normal temperature is obtained for every person entering the academy for every class he or she enters. We will have a non-contact infrared thermometer that we will shoot at you. And
yeah, I just got them.
They were expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. I couldn't believe it. $150 each.
Yeah, when you come back to the school, I hate, you know what? It's like the media is conditioning us to see the new normal, the new normal. How many people said the new normal? It is going to be a new normal, unfortunately, but it's not going to be normal forever, hopefully. All right, but when you come in, we got sneeze guards, we got plastic glass between you and the front desk people, and we got lines demarcating everything and have a lot of rules. Please, like, at this moment, they're just making sure we keep safe. I know I keep repeating myself, but I have to make sure that we all understand, because this is something we love to do, and it's such a cool place to hang out, and it's our recreation. We have so many friends there, and now I don't have to follow the rules. We really do have to make sure that we follow these procedures, okay, to keep everybody safe. So temperature, if you have a temperature that is greater than 99.3, you'll be asked to not join the school, not join the class. Now, if this is something that is normal for you, that you hold very high temperatures, I don't think that everybody has a temperature at 99.3, but I could be wrong. And if you can show that 3 days in a row, you feel totally normal, you get up and you take a temperature in the morning and at night and it's the same all the time, then maybe we can figure something out. But right now it's 99.3, above, gotta go home. All right, that's point number 3. That's the second protocol. Protocol number 3, I got 2 3s there, I gotta delete. Each person entering the academy confirms that they have no symptoms of COVID-19 within the last 14 days. The symptoms include fever, cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, chills, repeated shaking with chills, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, new loss of taste or smell. That's interesting. I didn't know that was a symptom.
Yeah, huh? Isn't that crazy? So remember, if any of those things, you feel any of those things, and you be coming in, you know, we're going to tell you to leave. And you can't be mad at us because it's not our choice. It's the rules.
Please don't infect us.
Yes, please.
Okay? We'll be here as long as everybody's responsible. Number 4, each person entering the academy confirms no known contacts with anyone testing positive for COVID-19 within the past 14 days. This includes all healthcare workers. So I would say that when we say that healthcare workers that come back to work, it's just because if you're a nurse and you're working from home or you're doing telemedicine, doesn't stop you from coming to the school. It's if you know you are treating COVID-19 patients. So if you're in the hospital with COVID-19 patients and you're coming into contact with them, then clearly you cannot be permitted in the school because you will not pass this protocol question.
Yeah, that should be pretty clear. So everyone that's like, well, what if this or what if that? It's very clear. You know, 14
cardiologist working from home. You don't even go to the office. You don't go to the hospital. You can come train. Dr. Reggie. He's probably in the hospital. I don't know. I'm just thinking Dr. Reggie. He's not a guy. He's always helping us out. So we appreciate it very much. Number 6, each person entering the academy confirms they are neither a member of nor live with a member of a population uniquely vulnerable to COVID-19. Who are these people? These people include people 65 and older, people who live in a nursing home or long-term care facility, people of all ages with underlying medical conditions, particularly if not well controlled, such as chronic lung disease, moderate to severe asthma, people who have serious heart conditions, people who have immunocompromised, people with diabetes, people with chronic kidney disease undergoing dialysis, and people with liver disease.
It's pretty clear. I had a question. You know how people be like allergies, you know? We can't determine if your sickness is allergies or if it's corona. So unfortunately, you lose that tie. So if you're sick, I don't care what you're sick from, you lose. You can't train. So, you know, if I hear you coughing, sneezing, I'll zap you with the gun. Even if you're like, but it's allergies, bro.
It's an infrared thermometer gun. It's not a taser.
All right. I just like to think of it that way. But, you know, if you come in talking about, I don't have the corona, bro, I just got allergies, I'm sorry. I want to believe you, but no thank you. So no germs. We just can't have you coming in risking that. We just can't. I hope everyone understands
that. Number 7, each person must wear a mask or face covering while inside the academy. You're welcome to wear your own face coverings. We do have these very stylish masks that we've just purchased. We have 500 of them at the front desk. Our staff will be wearing them. So if you'd like to purchase them as well, you can do so. We will make them available, and they are pretty cool. So make sure you do that. We're also running a special real soon on the Jiu-Jitsu gis and a mask. If you buy a Jiu-Jitsu gi, you will get a mask. Please stand by. Check your email inbox. That will be coming forth very soon. If you want to place the order, call the phone number 202-538-0422 and go to the website. Okay.
We also, maybe we could do like a bundle, like a help us reopen bundle, and where, you know, they get a grappler. Yeah, with a shirt.
Oh yeah, get the shirt. It's a whole thing.
Shirt, mask, gi, and then the strikers, it'll be like gloves and whatever strikers need.
Fantastic. We got all kinds of things. We have so much stuff on the shelves right now. Please come buy something. Help us out. Figure some of this out. 3 more left to go. Okay, number 8. Each person must already be dressed in uniform, training clothes before entering the academy. No one will be permitted in the locker room. And we're going to turn off the water fountain too. That's not because we don't like you. It's because we don't want you to spread disease around. Okay, so unfortunately right now, use the bathroom before you come in. Because if you have an emergency and we have to use the bathroom, we're going to have to clean it up. So we don't want to risk that. All right. So please, in phase 2, we're going to have to keep the locker room closed. Now in phase 3, we hope to have one person in the changing room at a time. But right now it's going to be closed. So if you wear your clothes all ready to go, I think it's great that you're going to be standing outside in a gi or standing outside in your Beta Academy shirt, because then people will be like, oh, that's a pretty cool looking club. I want to go there too. But only find out that you're going to be working out. So,
dude, I love standing outside the school in my gi. That's like one of my favorite things to do. I feel like a superhero when I'm out there.
I'm going to get a velvet rope. I'm putting a little velvet rope around there. They'll come in. That's okay.
I think that'd be cool. But remember, people, again, you can't be a cool guy or cool girl and be like, I just got to change. I'm sorry. You can't. You have to come ready. When you're waiting outside to come into Beta, we're going to open the door and you're going to go straight to the mat after I zap you with my gun, my temperature gun. Then you're going to, put on your mask and go straight to the mat. So do not pass go. Do not collect 200. No locker rooms, no nothing. You just go straight to the mat. After class, you go straight out the door. So you can't be like, I just got to change. You got to change before you come to Beta. Or maybe we'll put like a changing pot outside. Be like, all right, you got to change.
You have to disinfect that too. I don't think you can change outside. We might get some problems with that. Just wear your clothes, come to class, look like a cool person because you're dressed up funny.
Yeah.
We're doing Muay Thai. All you need is your Beta Academy shirt and some shorts, and you'll be fine. Or you can even have your Muay Thai shorts on. That'd be pretty cool too.
That'd be even cooler.
Yeah, I think that's great. So just wear your stuff, come to class, bring your stuff, and bring your gear onto the mat with you. Okay, so everything's got to be with you on the mat.
And Hyro's gonna break your legs if you break any of these rules. Sorry, guys.
Damn right.
He's our hired goon, thug number 1. Number 9, each person must have footwear specifically designed for use at the academy only, such as sandals, and put said footwear upon entering the premises. So if you're wearing I can change that right now. If you come in, you got to have your, I forgot what they call it in Japanese too, but everybody, if you're in judo class, you got to have your own sandals. If you're at a tournament, you got to have your sandals. If you're walking with bare feet, like, people are disgusted at you. So you can't do that. You got to bring sandals. You're wearing just for the school. Switch your shoes off, put your sandals on, walk down the mat, take your sandals off, disinfect yourself, get on your training square. Okay, so we may make some sandals available, but right now our inventories are so stocked and our funds are so low. I don't think we can do that at this moment, but depending on what happens, we will see. Okay.
We talked a little bit about that. We were like, well, we could buy flip-flops, but we got to save that money right now because the future is uncertain still for us. So we don't want to spend any more money. So don't forget, you show up to beta, you have tennis shoes on with your gi on, right? So you're standing outside, you're like, man, I wear my gi, I have my tennis shoes, I look so cool. When you walk in, I zap you with the gun. You have to take off your shoes and put on your inside shoes. Does that make sense? Carlos wears shorts. Some people wear flip-flops. All right?
Number 10, hands must be washed or disinfected with hand sanitizer after removing sandals and again, prior to stepping onto the mat. Okay, so on the mat, disinfect. Off the mat, disinfect. Okay, we're fully stocked right now with hand sanitizer and disinfecting solutions, equipment, all that stuff. We're fully stocked. You know, I'm sure that these companies that are selling the stuff, Amazon, whoever made Lysol, they're making a ton of cash on everybody. So we've been able to get in line and get what we need. But again, this only begins in phase 2, which at this point, we believe to be June 15th. We are uncertain, but we will have to follow the DC mayor's lead when she feels it is safe to initiate stage 2 of the opening. Okay, but for right now, outdoor classes, everybody's got the schedule. We are looking forward to conducting the training, looking forward to seeing everybody again and getting the people back together. And I think that with that being said, is there any other questions on there?
Let me take a look. Well, everyone's already claiming nicknames. Let me see. Andrew Dickgeiser, he said he wants to name Jonah the Colombian Cutler Cunningham. That's pretty good. Jonah wants to name Bane. All right, so when we do this.
Why do we have nicknames?
And I don't know. And then they said they're going to be disappointed if people don't show up dressed like Mortal Kombat characters.
Oh man, like this is great. I was always thinking, like, who wants to train in a mask? I don't know, Scorpion, Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
Train in a mask. They might as well be just like them.
Wasn't there a green one? There was Sub-Zero.
Reptile, Smoke.
Look at that.
Smoke.
There's a
There was also the Shadow in there. You could play Ermac. Remember Ermac?
Ermac. Yeah, he was the best one.
I believe Katana and
that's right.
Lena both wear masks too.
Yeah, look at that. Everybody wearing masks in Mortal Kombat. But just I'm going to give a quick refresher. So remember, phase 1, we're just doing outside classes. Nobody could come in beta, right? Phase 2, the door's still locked. Everyone's outside. You make your appointment online for phase 1 and 2. For phase 2, when we do have classes indoors, you have to take your outside shoes off, put on your inside shoes. With your uniform on, you should have a book bag, a water bottle, all your stuff with you. Then I zap you with my temperature gun. Then you walk to the mat, train, then you leave. So it's very different than before, but this is the way we got to do it. Just remember that. And I think, that's it.
This is what you said, very
so many
words to describe it. Like crazy time, like exciting time, you know, that we're all kind of coming back together and we'll get back to doing what we love. Again, we want to do it as safely as possible. So please try to do your best to follow the rules. Again, if you need a copy of the plan, you can email us, or you can see there's a link on the emails that we sent previously. And the world is, you know, as you say, I would say it was crazy. There's a lot of things happening all the time outside. 2020 has been a very eventful year. But let's all not forget, with everything that's happening, that we're all one people, that we're all one community. We got to look out for each other. And this is really what this is about. And so we want to make sure that we're able to do that for our community. And we can't wait for y'all to come back and get back to training so that we can do what we love to do every day. So thank you very much for joining us. We're going to make this video available online, so anybody needs to watch it again. If you want a copy of that as well, you can go to our YouTube page, YouTube channel, Beta Academy DC, right? So check that out. We have, make sure you stay connected with us on social media. Once again, we want to thank all of our supporters. We could not get to this point without you. For the last 3 months, it has been very painful dealing with so many things, dealing with the government, trying to catch all their different programs, trying to, you know, make sure that we abide by all the rules that are being forced upon us. But at the same time, like, we couldn't have done it without you and without your support. So we really appreciate you being a part of the school. If anybody had to freeze their memberships during this time, you want to reactivate your memberships, please also give us a call at the school. We can make that happen so you can begin to register for these outdoor classes and take advantage of all the training as we look forward to getting into phase 2 of the reopening plan.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, thanks to the students, like we survived this. I think it's looking like
we're still fighting. We're still fighting.
Yeah, we're still fighting, but I think we're gonna win this fight. You know, it's gonna be great to come back, see you all. Like I told Nak earlier, this is the last time you guys will see all this glorious hair and this glorious beard.
Oh God.
Today's the day. Today's the day is gone. So I'll be looking different when you see me at the school. This is I got to take some photos because this is my quarantine video look. I made so many videos with this crazy hair. So now I'm going to look like a totally different person. It's going to be great.
That would never fly in the Navy, man.
No way.
That would never fly.
It would never fly.
Well, thank you all, coaches, Coach Carlos, Coach Hyro, for joining us. We're really looking forward to your classes, 6 o'clock and 5 o'clock for the kids. Y'all take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you guys.